श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रीहरिं परमानन्दं उपदेष्टारमीश्वरं व्यापकं सर्वलोकानां कारणं तं नमाम्यहम्। घटनाम्ना यथा पृथिवी पटनाम्ना हि तत्त्वतः पटनाम्ना हि तन्तवः जगन्नाम्ना चिदा भाति ज्ञेयं तत्तद् अभावत तत्तदभावतः। A mistake there. He continues to talk the same thing, how you have to understand. The cause, so-called cause-effect relationship between clay and pot. This cause-effect relationship creates a notion that there is a cause, there is an effect. And the cause and effect are taken to be real. There is the cause is real and effect is real. This is the logician's system of logic. So we have a logician in India, and who creates a system of logic and presenting there are substances, dravyas, and they are all real. And they have qualities, dravya guna. And then jati is there, jati means group, species is there. And they have these categories like samavaya and so on. Yesterday I told about samavaya, sambandha. Between cause effect there is a sambandha. Cause is real, effect is real, and they are brought together by an inherent relationship, and that is called sambandha, and that is also real. This is a system. They have created a false system. And because they have to define, and then it's a kind of a sparring partner for us, and it creates a system. And we can get into that system. Vedantins, most of these Vedantins get into the system. And the whole Vedanta comes through that system, a false system. Therefore it doesn't bless them. If you look at them, you will understand this is Naiyayika. So Naiyayika Vedanta, it is called Naiyayika Vedanta, becomes a non-blessing Vedanta. Very unfortunate. And getting into that system itself is because of some prarabdha, bad prarabdha. Some good and bad prarabdha, because you get into an orientation, it looks as though very logical. They think that is so important. So the more they think it is important, the more Vedanta becomes far away, becomes a system. What is the pramana becomes a system. So anyway, now here, he wants you to understand the cause-effect relationship is like this. The effect is cause, cause is not effect. And therefore, what is that effect if you say? Name. Gata namna yathā prithvi. The prithvi, the earth, clay. But the prithvi, the clay, is in the form of gata, in the name of gata. Gata namna vartate, prithvi eva vartate. The prithvi is in the form of gata, in the name of gata. There is nothing more in it. Only prithvi is there. Now what do you call it? What do you say? And the prithvi, clay can be in any form. It can be in any form because clay has got form. And therefore it can be any form. Why don't you call it clay? Clay can be in any form. It can be this form or it can be that form. This is also clay. And this is also clay. And this is also clay. Why do you call it pot? Namna. Once you call it pot, you have a sense of an object immediately. That's a separation. That is where the Dvaita comes. The separation. And therefore, so pot is one object. And the vase is another object. The vase, our vase is another object. And then, to make it real, they put a flower. And so, then there is another pot. It's a small pot. What is inside here? Kind of a lamp, I think. Yeah, something. Okay. Another part. So this is also called pot. You understand? See, the size doesn't matter. You will call it a pot. And this is also pot. We have got another one also. So that is a bigger pot. You know, this is a other one. So I remember all my tools. See, I am an ancient person. And therefore I have got these are the tools. No, this is the age of iPod. iPhone. iPod and iPhone and all that. Now, this is also pot. Poor thing has no neck. So there is no neck. Necklace pot. It can't wear a necklace. Because it is necklace. And so this is a necklace pot. But it can accommodate all these fellows. So this is also pot. Now, your buddhi doesn't have any hesitation to call it a part. That's human genius. That understanding of part, orientation of part is so thorough, so complete, that let the size be any, it's a part. That is what we call word and meaning. You understand so much. The word has got so much power. Part. And it is the same clay. How many clays are there? Eh? 2? Then 3, 4, no. You say 4, I will say 5. Therefore, better you say 1 and escape, okay? 1. There is only one clay. Advaita. One clay. Where is Dvaita? If there is one cause for the whole thing, where is Dvaita? How are you going to prove Dvaita? I see, therefore, subject, object, 2 things minimum. I say, that is true. You see, and there is an object. That's true. Subject, object are different. That is why there is subject, there is object. You are not taken for the object, and you take yourself to be the subject. You don't take the object as yourself. Thank God. Thank God. So this is empirically true, subject object. But to arrive at Dvaitam is entirely different. Because we don't object to the difference of subject and object. We don't object to this difference. What we say, that doesn't establish duality, 2 realities. They don't establish 2 realities. There is an object, there is a subject. That doesn't mean there are 2 realities, like even there is a pot, there is a vase. And that difference doesn't make any duality. What is there is only nāma. Now similarly, if both the subject and object have a common reality, the reality that sustains the subject, sustains the object, how you are going to establish duality? The reality of duality, there is no way of. Now all that I have to establish is the one reality. That's all what I have to establish, even without doing all that. You see me. This is one picture. You see me, you see the chair perhaps, you see the background perhaps. All this and distance also between your body and my body. And thereby you have one picture. There is only one picture. That picture is in your mind. Then what is the distance between the picture and consciousness that lights up the picture? What is the difference? Where is the distance? There is no distance. Where is second thing? How do you arrive at the second thing? One picture. And if you count mic, 1, and the body, either 2, one picture. You are counting 1, then again 1. Then you count 2, then it's 1. You count within the picture 2. That is what we call difference. That is the magic of Maya. Every time you count, it is always one. The counter counted, both are one, sustained by one consciousness. Then again you take, so there is Mike, there is Swami, okay? Two, you counted two. The counted two and the counter, both are one and the same. Where is duality? Madness is duality. There is no duality. You can't prove duality in any way. So Swamiji told me today he is taking this Dvaita Viveka, duality Viveka. That will prove very clearly. The Ishvara Srishti, Jiva Srishti. By analyzing all that, the absence of duality will be very, very clear. So, ghaṭa namna prithvi vartate. Only prithvi is in the form and name of ghaṭa, part. Therefore, only one prithvi clay. And similarly, pada namna hi tantavaha. In the name of cloth, with the name cloth, the yarn is there. The threads are there. The yarn. Tantava, tantuhu means a thread, a yarn here. Tantavaha, plural. The cross and long threads. They are threads. There is no cross or long, they are threads. If you remove them, there is no cross, there is no long. Threads, they are threads. And therefore, threads alone are called cloth. Therefore, threads appear in the form of cloth and therefore a name for it. So, in the name of cloth. Pata namna tantavaha jagan namna chidabhati. Chit consciousness now appears, shines as Jagat. With the word Jagat, there is no object which is outside consciousness. It looks as though I read this today's meditation. I didn't read, honestly, I tell you. It comes like that. It comes like that. That's how Bhagavan gives. Chit namna, no, chidabhati, chit vastu, consciousness, chit means consciousness, atma, abhati, shines. And then what? Jagat namna, only word, Jagat, pure nam. Name means, word means meaning also. Word and meaning. Word, meaning. Not the word shines. Word and meaning shines. But it's nothing more than the word meaning. Don't think there is a substance. The whole Jagat. That means whole Jagat, known and unknown to you, is shining in the form of, Chit is shining in the form of Jagat. Therefore, Chit plus Jagat is Chit. It is not Jagat. Chit plus Jagat, Chit. Like clay plus pot, clay. Not pot. It is clay. Clay shines. And the clay shines as pot. Clay is as pot. Here Chit shines as Jagat. Therefore, there is no question of 1 plus 1 here. Chideva Jagat. Jagat is Chit. But Chit is not Jagat, it's very clear. Clay is not pot. Similarly, Jagat. How do we understand if Chit is Jagat, Jagat is Chit? Why not? Pantheism. Originally there was one truth. Once when I was doing 9th grade, I had one class teacher. And this, every class has got a class teacher. They call him class teacher, class teacher. He is the main person. Other fellows come and go. He is the main person. He takes more classes than one class. And this class teacher, and one day he told in the class, he said, what does your Shankara say? DK fellows. So the atheistic, this movement started, and then first they caught the teachers. All teachers, government school teachers, they were the first converts. Anti-Brahmin movement. So this man started, this Periyar, E.V. Ramaswamy Nayakaru, Periyar, he started it. And it, like a wildfire, it caught on. And the school teachers started this. Then this man says, what does Shankara say? There was one Brahman, one reality, and that became the world. There was one reality, God, and he became the world. And afterwards there is no God. There is only word, nature. And he said like this. Then everybody believed it. I have to accept it as a teacher, I am a student. I had to accept it, and I accepted it with a pinch of salt. I accepted it with a pinch of salt. God became this world, and God is no more. Why you should say? Why not you say world is God? I asked a question. I asked him a question. Why not we say the world is God? World is God means which is God? One object is God? Which is God? God was one, and one became many. And that's, see, this is what the Veda says, one became many. Bahusyam prajaye. And some English translation he has got, and he tells all this. So I thought maybe that's the thing. I kept it in suspension. And then I was working in a newspaper. And then the editor, I was working as a journalist, and then this the name is Dharmika Hindu. See, that is my start in life. Really? We answered these fellows that Dharmika Hindu was started by one Jagannatha as an answer to all these arguments, these atheistic arguments. So I joined this paper not because I had some ideals or anything. It was a job. So a job offer, therefore I thought I will join this. That's all, nothing more. Then one day I was talking to the editor. Then I said that after all Shankara told, there was God and then it became the world. Something like that I told. And he laughed. And when he laughed, I understood there must be something. I must have said something wrong. Then again I kept it in suspense. Until I came to understand. And when I listened to Upanishads of Swami Chinmayananda, then only I understood this is entirely a different matter. There is a transcendental reality which transcends all. The cause transcends the effect. Therefore, the status of cause for the truth is as mithya as even the effect. If the effect is mithya, the causal status also is mithya. Not cause is mithya. That is throwing the baby along with the water. And the cause is mithya. That is a mistake committed by people. Effect is mithya. And the causal status is mithya. Both effect and cause are satyam. Both are satyam. Effect is satyam. Cause also is satyam. The causal status, the effect status, that is mithya. And therefore, this Jagat Chideva Abhati, Chit alone, nothing else plus Chit is there. Plus Chit is not there. Chit plus is not there. Chideva Abhati Jagat Rupena, Jagat Namna, Jagan Namna, Tad Jneyam. How to know? Jneyam Tat Tad Abhavataha. Now if you see each object, how to understand this, he says, Chideva Bhati, because if the clay is not there, will there be pot? Or when the pot resolves, then will clay disappear? No. If that is not, either way you can take. When the effect resolves, means if the effect is destroyed, clay is not destroyed, cause is not destroyed. That is how you have to understand this particular truth. Chideva abhati, Jagan namna. Because in the Chit there is no Jagat. When the Jagat resolves, there is Chit. When the Jagat is, there is Chit. When the pot is, there is clay. When the pot resolves, there is clay. If you take away the clay, will there be pot? In this way, this has to be anvayavatirekaabhyam. So, the satyam is nisyate. You understand what is satyam. Is ascertained, satyam is ascertained by anvayavatireka. One is, the other is. Pot is, the clay is. Pot is not, the clay is. So this is called anvayavatireka. Therefore, clay becomes real. Pot is mithya. Jagat is consciousness. Consciousness is Jagat need not be. And therefore consciousness becomes satyam. Consciousness is our bread and butter because that reveals itself. And its existence therefore is not dependent upon any revelation. The existence of consciousness is not to be revealed, but any other existence is to be revealed. Whereas existence of consciousness is self-revealing. Therefore what is self-revealing is existent, and everything else that is revealed by the self-existent consciousness, well, is mithya, depends upon the existence of this consciousness. Therefore, there is no dvaitam. Second thing is not there. Same arguments, so we can keep going. No, naturally, what all I have told is telling you. Karya kāraṇata nityam aste ghatamridor yathā yathaiva śruti yuktibhyam prapancha brahmano hoye Eh?
65.
Oh, 65? Oh, the page, yeah. Sarvopi vivaharastu brahmana kriyate janaihi ajnanat na vijananti mṛde vahi ghāṭādikam. Sarvopi vyavaharaha. All kinds of transaction. Empirical transaction. Like a pot, which is the example here, and pata, gatapata. The pot is used for fetching water, keeping water, cooking, all kinds of vyavahara. Pot is very important. You buy pot. Clay is everywhere. But you go to a shop and buy pot. Correct? Therefore, ghaṭa is real. You don't buy clay. Clay is freely available. But pot, you have to buy. Because there is effort involved and all that. So pot you buy. Therefore, pot is real. This is called. So it is useful. Arthakriya karitvam. There is usefulness. It serves a purpose. Real. Pot is real. One fellow said like this also. What is reality? Anything useful is reality. Therefore, appendix is not reality. So this is. So you remove that. So appendix. What is useful is reality. This is useful reality. In fact, do you know what? What is useful is mithya. What is of no use, that is reality. You cannot put it to use. And another thing, what is useful cannot be without the reality. What is useful is mithya. All useful is mithya. Your speech also, the organ is mithya. It's all, everything has to be there. One small nodule or something is there, then nothing comes out. Only one note will come. Sa, it will come. Re won't come. And so re will be entirely different. And therefore what I say, so this is all mithya. The whole blessed thing is mithya. So mithya is useful. But the mithya doesn't exist without satyam. But vyavahara is done only with the mithya objects. So sarvopi vyavaharaha, any vyavahara, all types of vyavahara transaction, whether it is a cloth that is used by you as clothes to wear, that is vyavahara. That is vyavahara. And therefore, sarvopi vyavaharastu janaihi kriyate. By people, the vyavahara is undertaken. All kinds of transactions. So they are all kinds of activities are undertaken by people with all these objects which are mithya. Keeping water, cooking. These are the vyavahara we do. Vyavahara means, transaction, subject-object transaction. And kriyate janaihi. But really speaking, not gatena, not patena. So by gata vyavahara is done, pata is vyavahara done. That is what people think that they are doing vyavahara. This is duality. This is what we call kārakas. These are the various kārakas. If you want to do something, then for that action, certain factors are inevitable. Certain minimum factors are there. And therefore, there is a subject. You cannot avoid that. When action means there is a subject who is doing it. By whom it is done. Two ways of expression. But subject is there. By whom it is done is the subject, or who does it is the subject. So one is passive voice, the other is active voice. So by me it is done, passive, and active, I did it, active. Therefore subject is there. And then again, so suppose I read, then you can ask, reading is the action. Then I, the subject, I read, or by me it is read. Then what is read? Then that should come. Then you read what? Then the object should come. Therefore, so this object, either in the second case or in the nominative, if it is a passive voice, this object will be in the nominative. The subject will be in the instrumental case. By me it was read. Gita was read by me. Gita was read by me. Or I read Gita. Oh, Brahma Sutra Kailas ashram mein padhta tha. And one person told me like this, I remember this still very well. And so he said, there is Brahma Sutra Kailas ashram mein padhta tha. Aham. मैं पढ़ता था ब्रह्म सूत्रो So I read Brahma Sutras in Kailas ashram. So there is an object, there is a subject. With the help of whom? Then that also being taught by so and so. That also you can say. Where did you study? In Kailas ashram. In Kailas ashram, Kailas ashram. In Kailas ashram. From where you are going, you can say from your own place, from your kutia, wherever it is, Maya Kund. These are all kārakas, connected. Subject, object, the instrumental case and dative, all, and ablative and genitive. Genitive is not kāraka. The seventh case, locative. All these are kārakas. All the kārakas, Brahman. Suppose you perform a ritual. A fire ritual. In the fire ritual, there is a yajamana, the karta. There is a karta. There is an object that is offered unto the fire. There is an instrument that offers, an instrument that is a ladle that is used for offering the oblation. A mantra also is used for offering the oblation. There is a purpose. There is a devata, a second cause, or a dative. So for this devata it is offered agnaye idam. It's a ritual. Each one is different, all connected to this offering, the act of offering, yajna, yajate. Now this example, Vedic example is taken in the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita being a moksha shastram, the knowledge of all these karakas. So what are these karakas? That is duality. Karakas constitute duality. Now if the karakas are proved that they are nothing but one reality, then duality is offered unto the same fire, the fire of knowledge. Now, that is the reason why when we are eating, we chant Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi, Brahmagnau, Brahmanahutam, Brahmaivatena gantavyam, Brahma karma samadhina. Passive voice. Brahmana hutam. Hutam. This ritual is performed. Who is the performer? Devadatta. Devadatta Jiva. And the Devadatta, the Jiva, is not Devadatta, the Jiva is Brahman. Brahmanahutam. Oh, that fellow thought I am doing it. Yeah, you are not doing it. Brahman is doing it. He has to know that. If he knows that, then one karaka is finished. One karaka is Prathama karaka. And that is the fellow, the subject. And the subject being a passive voice is presented in the third case. Brahmanahutam, by Brahman it is offered. Once by Brahman it is offered, then what is offered is going to be Brahman. By what is offered is Brahman. So Brahmarpanam. Brahmaiva arpanam, arpyate anena iti arpanam. So the ladle that you have got, that is also Brahman. The mantra that you use for offering, Agnaye Swaha, that is also Brahman. Brahmarpanam. What is offered? How is the oblation? That is Brahman, Brahma Havihi. Where it is offered, there is also karaka. Karaka means things that are connected to an action. Where it is offered, Agni in the fire. A fire is Brahman. Brahmagnau. To whom you are offering? To Devata Agni. To the Devata, the fire. Fire God. Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavi, Brahmagnau, Brahmanahutam. Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi, Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi. No. So complete हो गया ना. Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi, Brahmagnau, Brahmanahutam. हो गया. 4 कारकाल हो गया. Then क्या, for what he is doing this? What is the purpose? What is the purpose? The oblation offerer is Brahman. Unto what it is offered is Brahman. What is offered is Brahman. And by what it is offered is Brahman. And the Devata, if there is one, that is also Brahman. We have to add that. Then what is it he is aiming at? Brahman. Brahmaiva tena gantavyam. What is to be achieved by him? Brahman. That means there is nothing to achieve. There is nothing offered. It's all Brahman. Whole thing is Brahman. Then who is this fellow? Brahmana, you said that Brahmana, how did he become Brahman? He is Devadatta. No. Brahma karma samadhina. Brahmana means Brahma karma samadhi. Tena. Brahmaiva tena gantavyam. Brahma karma is sarvatra Brahma darshanam. Sarvam hi Brahma iti darshanam. That is Brahma. That is called Brahma karma. The one who has the vision, everything is Brahman, sarvam kalvitam Brahma. And that is called Brahma darshanam. Therefore, Brahma karma is sarvatra Brahma darshanam. Tasminneva samadhihi yasya, samahita buddhihi yasya. Whose buddhi, whose mind is quite awake to this reality. That fellow is called Brahma Karma Samadhi. So this Brahma Karma Samadhi doesn't look at all the karakas as something different. Genitive case also is not going to have any more. Any kind of possessor-possession, that kind of a relationship, Sesha-Seshi relationship is not going to be more real than all the other karakas. Because the subject is Brahman, the object is Brahman, what is offered is object is already Brahman. Therefore, so this genitive, possessor, possessive, possessed, that subject-object, that also doesn't stand outside Brahman, that is also Brahman. Subject is Brahman, object is Brahman. Okay? Therefore, the eater is Brahman, eaten is Ishvara. Eater is Ishvara, eaten is Ishvara, and the digestive fire also is Ishvara. Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva, Praninam Deham Ashritaha, Pranapana Samayuktaha, Aham, so Pachami Annam Chaturvidam. I digest the food. Bhagavan says, oh, you digest the food? Then food is what? That is also me. I digest myself. So you digest yourself. Yes, I am the food and I am the eater of the food. So we remind ourselves when we are eating. And this sentence is there in the fourth chapter, lastly, in the fourth chapter, in the middle, and that we chant lastly. Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva is in the 15th chapter. And therefore, we chant the whole chapter. It's an occasion to chant. The whole chapter we chant, and then Brahmarpanam Brahmahavihi, Brahmagno Brahmana. Therefore, Brahmana eva sarvaihi sarvajanaihi kriyate vyavaharaha. Because gata is Brahman. Gatatvam belongs to non-gata. Non-gata is Brahman. Pata, non-pata is Brahman. And pata is only mithya attribute. And gata is mithya attribute. Therefore, Brahman is not at the end. It is always surface to Brahman. In fact, there is nothing else. Anything you say is Brahman. Even if you commit a mistake, that is also Brahman. But it won't stand further inquiry, and therefore, so within the vyavahara, there is what is false. and what is right. That is where Ishvara is. Within the Vyavahara is Ishvara. Vyavahara is Ishvara, we have to talk about it later. All Vyavaharas are Ishvara Srishti. He is a Brahman manifest in the form of Jagat is Ishvara. And that is Vyavahara. And that Vyavahara is very precise. Suppose you teach English to a Spanish person, and when he talks, and the person learns Spanish first, and that is the language. So every language will come through the crucible of Spanish, and therefore it will have a Spanish flavor, and like Tamil flavor, and like a Telugu flavor. Vachava, did you come? Did you come? Did you eat? Did you eat? And so this is always do. And so there's a Tamil flavor, there's a Telugu flavor, there's a Gujarati flavor. And you should not get confused. And it's confusion. And this Gujarati flavor. That's called Gujarati flavor. Bengali flavor everybody knows. And so it has got a special flavor. Bhai. Bhengatraman. Bhai. And so it's a Bengali flavor. And Malayalam flavor. That's an amazing flavor. William the Conqueror conquered the county of Cornwall. Wherever war comes war, there is no question of anything. Opposition. I oppose. No. Yeah. Wherever war comes war. The crucible. So your human voice becomes set, and through that only. And therefore here the Indians, the Indians here, they try to be American. And so, and if they begin talking quickly, then Indian comes out. So as long as they are conscious, they try to. You can find out from a mile distance. This fellow is an Indian. That language will show you are Indian and also from which state you are. I can hear you, and there's nothing to search for. Comes through that. That is Vyavahara. There is a reality about it. And this reality is Ishvara Srishti. It's a very big reality. Therefore, don't go away with the idea it is all just Nama. Name means what? Meaning, that's magic. Look at the formation. You have to beat that. It takes years of training. That is also within the order of Ishvara. Therefore, sarvopi vyavaharastu brahmana kriyate janahi. Even though we think ghatena, patena, but really speaking, every karaka is Brahman. Every object is Brahman. All the other things connected to activities also are Brahman. Then why people do not know all this? What a question. Why people do not know? You tell me. Why you don't know? Why you don't know all this? Because I don't know. You have answered already. I don't know is the answer, correct? Why I don't know? Why I don't know? Yeah. There is no answer why I don't know. Unless you are supposed to be born with all this knowledge. If all are born with this kind of knowledge, then I should ask a question, why you don't know all this? I should ask. We are all born ignorant. And you can say, why I didn't make an attempt to know all this? That I can sympathize with you. And I can say you didn't have an opportunity, that's all. But you can't ask me why I didn't know all this. Ajñānāt. You are born ignorant. There is no born again ignorant. The born again, he is more ignorant. He confirms the ignorance. And he seals himself so that he cannot think afterward. He makes sure he doesn't think anymore. That fellow is called born again. Closing the door. That's another unfortunate thing. Only Bhagavan has to help him. In the next janma at least. Because he has got some commitment. And therefore that may help him in the next birth. May help him. But even the next birth, that born again, buddhi will come again. So he has to go to a right teacher. Otherwise his born again will take over. I suppose, I don't know. But definitely there should be a result for that commitment. Even though it's a deluded commitment. There is some commitment, some prayer. So it may help. Ajñānāt na vijananti. There is no reason except ignorance, which is one is born with. Why one is born with ignorance? Because one is not born with knowledge. What is that answer? What is your question? I will tell you what is my answer. So this is a silly. So why he is born with ignorance means why? Because he is not born with knowledge. Why he is not born with knowledge? Because he is born with ignorance. Suppose he is born with knowledge, what will happen? You will argue with your mother even in your stomach. And Ishvara doesn't want you to argue then itself. Until 14 you are not supposed to argue. Then only she can handle you. So until 14. I am 14, Mom. I know everything. I am 14. Don't tell me when should I come, when should I go, where should I go. I am 14, Mom. Whoa, 14 means the whole world I know. 14, Mom. At least she can enjoy the child for a few years. And that is the reason why you are not given. And if you have knowledge, you will know your previous birth also. And you will be sad of your previous birth also. All your previous guilt and previous hurt. And all the type of birth that you had previously, which you don't want to tell anybody. And therefore this is therefore, all is well. And that which was made by Ishvara is all well. That's how this has to be. One mother, and that is enough. No parental confusion. You start with innocence, blank slate. Clean, new life. Wonderful. Therefore, ajñānāt na vijananti. idea is this ajnanam and has got this ignorance, self-ignorance, has to be truth ignorance. The truth of everything, that is oneself, and that has got to be negated by vritti jnanam, by knowledge that takes place in the buddhi. And for knowledge to take place, you need pramanam, a means of knowledge. And the means of knowledge is this teaching Shastra. You should get it through a paperback, through somebody, through something that has to come to you. That is called vritti jnanam. Vijananti. Why? Because mṛdevahi gatādikam. Gata, etc. is indeed because this pot, etc. is nothing but clay. Pot, etc. means all earthenware is nothing but cast clay. And therefore, everything else that is here, including the pot, it's all Brahman. Therefore, karta is Brahman, karma is Brahman, kriya is Brahman. Subject is Brahman, object is Brahman, all this Brahman. Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi, Brahmagnu, Brahmanam. So, then we have to go back here. So we'll see that later. Om Purnamada Shanti Shanti Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah.